Welcome back to Snooze Fest Sports. I'm Coach Snooze, and tonight we're heading to Serbia. But we'll take our time. No rushing, no fast breaks, just slow passing, and even slower footwork. This is a story of Nikola Jokic, the big man who doesn't jump, the center who plays like a point guard, the MVP who would rather go home and ride a horse, and most of all, the only superstar who makes basketball feel like bedtime. So grab your blanket, get comfy, and let's drift off into the quiet, calm, beautifully boring career of Nikola Jokic. Let's start at the beginning with a sleepy draft pick that aired during a Taco Bell commercial. It was a 2014 NBA draft. First pick, Andrew Wiggins. Second, Jabari Parker. Third, Joel Embiid. 41st, Nikola Jokic. Announced quietly during a Taco Bell quesadilla ad. No ESPN panel. No highlight reel. Just a scroll and a soft beep. With the 41st pick, the Denver Nuggets select Nikola Jokic. And then, nacho cheese. Jokic was playing in Serbia. Mega basket. Averaging 11.4 points, 6.4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Not flashy, but efficient. Quietly sleepy. He didn't come to the NBA right away. He waited a year, slept on it. In 2015, he joined the Nuggets. He wore number 15. He weighed 250 pounds, but moved like he weighed a lot less. Slowly, but gracefully. In his rookie season, he averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2.4 assists in 21 minutes a game. Not loud numbers, but soft. Like falling asleep to rain. He finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. Karl Anthony Towns won it. Jokic didn't mind. He was still getting used to American breakfast. And Denver altitude. And altitude makes you sleepy. By year 2, he was the starter. He averaged 16.7 points. 9.8 rebounds, 4.9 assists, in just 27 minutes per game. He wasn't athletic, he wasn't fast, but the ball moved. Like a lullaby. Bounce pass, hook shot, layup, nap. By 2018, Nikola Jokic was the center of the Nuggets. Literally and figuratively. The offense ran through him, slowly, like molasses. In January, that year, he averaged 18.5 points, 10.7 rebounds, 6.1 assists. He recorded 10 triple-doubles from the center position. Unusual, but not loud. Never loud. In 2019, the Nuggets finished second in the West. Jokic averaged 20 points, 10.8 rebounds, 7.2 assists. He made the All-Star game. He smiled once, maybe twice, but only a little. The 2019 playoffs, first round versus the Spurs, Game 7 win. Second round versus the Blazers, Game 7 loss. Jokic played 65 minutes in a 4 OT game. 65 minutes. 33 points, 14 rebounds, 14 assists. He wasn't tired. He just walked back to the locker room like it was Tuesday. And it was. In the 2020 bubble, Jokic and the Nuggets came back from 3-1 twice. First against the Jazz, then against the Clippers. Then they lost to the Lakers. Jokic averaged 24.4 points, 9.8 rebounds, 5.7 assists in that run. LeBron and AD moved on. Jokic just nodded and left the gym. Then came the MVP season, 2020-2021. Jokic played all 72 games. Every single one. He averaged 26.4 points, 10.8 rebounds, 8.3 assists on 56.6% shooting and 38.8% from three. No missed games, no media drama, just buckets, floaters, fadeaways, and passes like lullabies. In 2022, he did it again. Another MVP. 27.1 points, 13.8 rebounds, 7.9 assists. PER, 32.8. Highest in NBA history. Higher than Jordan, higher than LeBron. He didn't celebrate, he just went back to Serbia to ride his horses. In 2023, Nikola Jokic finally had help. Jamal Murray, back from injury. Michael Porter Jr., mostly healthy. Aaron Gordon, strong, quiet, dependable. And Bruce Brown, like a travel mug, solid and warm. The Nuggets won 53 games, first in the West. But no one panicked. Jokic averaged 24.5 points, 11.8 rebounds, 9.8 assists, almost a triple-double, again. But no campaigning, no Instagram quotes, just more floaters and press conferences in a flannel shirt. In the playoffs, the Nuggets went 16-4. That's 4 rounds, 16 wins, 4 losses. That's math, even when you're half asleep. Round 1, Timberwolves. Jokic averaged 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 games, series over. He didn't break a sweat. Round 2, Suns. Durant, Booker, but Jokic, unbothered. 34.5 points, 34.2 rebounds, 10.3 assists. Yes, he averaged a triple-double while wearing the same pair of socks, probably. Western Conference Finals. Lakers. The bright lights came out. LeBron, AD, Jokic brought. Silence. 27.8 points, 14.5 rebounds, 11.8 assists. 4 straight wins. The broom came out. The crowd went home. Jokic went to the hotel and slept. Finals. Versus Miami 5 games. Denver wins the title. Jokic 30.2 points, 14 rebounds, 7.2 assists. Finals MVP. First championship in Nuggets history. They asked him how he felt. He said, "Job is done. We can go home now." Then he looked for the parade schedule and said, "I need to go home." Then he laughed. Then he left. After the championship, Jokic didn't change. No big interviews, no flashy sneakers, just more basketball. And horses. Always the horses. In 2023-24, the Nuggets finished with 56 wins, first in the West, again. Jokic averaged 26.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, 9 assists, 58% from the field, 35% from three. He made it look effortless, like breathing or putting on slippers. In the playoffs, they beat the Pelicans in round 1. Swept. Jokic averaged 24, 11, 10. Triple-double again. Quietly, like a secret. Round 2, the Suns. Again. A little revenge. Nuggets in 6. Jokic, 30.5 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. But in the conference finals, they faced the Thunder. Young, quick, loud. Jokic still averaged 28, 12, 9. But they lost. In 6, the Thunder moved on. Jokic nodded, hugged everyone, and went home. In 2024-25, another Jokic season, another blur, another gentle storm. 25.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 8.4 assists. He's 30 now, but still moves. Slow, but unstoppable. They lost in the second round again. Another 6-game exit. No drama. No shouting. Jokic just untied his shoes and walked off. Nikola Jokic has played 9 NBA seasons. That's 9 years, 695 regular season games, all with the Denver Nuggets. No trades, no drama, just consistency. His career averages 20.9 points, 10.7 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 1.3 steals, 0.7 blocks, 3.1 turnovers on 55.6% shooting from the field and 35.8% from three, 83.4% from the free throw line. For a center, that's smooth, like warm tea on a winter night. He has recorded 139 triple-doubles. That's second all time. Only Russell Westbrook has more. But Jokic did it slower and quieter. Let's count some MVP years. 2020, 2021. 26.4 points, 10.8 rebounds, 8.3 assists. PER 31.3. First MVP. 2021, 2022. 27.1 points, 13.8 rebounds, 7.9 assists. PER 32.8. Highest ever. Second MVP. 2022-2023, he finished second, behind Joel Embiid. Some said he deserved it. He didn't complain. He just fed his horses. Then came the championship. He didn't need an MVP. He won the Finals MVP instead. 30.2 points, 14 rebounds, 7.2 assists on 58% shooting. And the only thing louder than his stats was how quietly he celebrated. No champagne photos, no all-caps tweets, just a hug, a smile. and a flight back to Sombor. Nikola Jokic is the only player in NBA history to average over 25 points, over 10 rebounds, over 6 assists for 4 straight seasons. And he did it with a jump shot that barely leaves the ground. PER all-time ranking, he's number 1, ahead of Jordan, ahead of LeBron. Quietly, softly, silently, number 1. You know, in a league full of flash, Nikola Jokic is a whisper. After winning the NBA Finals, they asked him if he was excited. He blinked, looked at the stat sheet, then asked when the parade was, and when they told him, he sighed. "I need to go home," he said, and he meant it. Jokic doesn't spend summers in LA, or Miami, or Las Vegas. He goes home to Serbia, to Sombor, a quiet town with quiet people and quiet horses. He rides them, trains them, names them. One's called Dreamcatcher, one's called Bella Margarita, another's just named Bob. He says the horses help him breathe, help him think, help him feel human again. Not like a star, just like Nikola. His teammates talk about it. They say, he's either hooping or he's in a stable. There's no in-between. Reporters have tried to get quotes, but he keeps it simple. Basketball is fun, he says, but life is life. Then he shrugs, smiles a little, and leaves. And maybe that's why he plays so slow, why he doesn't jump high, yell. Because he's not chasing anything. He's just existing in the paint with perfect footwork. When he's not in the paint, Nikola Jokic is in the jungle. Not a real jungle, a digital one. League of Legends. He plays quietly. No yelling, no rage quitting. Just slow clicks, careful positioning, support roles, maybe jungle. He's not here to carry. He's here to relax. After a game in the NBA, he doesn't hit the club. He queues up solo. Maybe with his brothers. Maybe with the lights off. Maybe with slippers on. He once said, "I play League. Too much, probably." That's it. No punchline. Just truth. While other players chase highlights, Jokic chases Baron Nashor. Slowly. Quietly. With good vision control. League of Legends. Horses. Triple doubles. That's the trifecta of a very, very sleepy king. It was the summer of 2014. I was flying coach, which felt appropriate, to Team USA's scrimmage camp in Vegas, just to watch, just to take notes, just to snooze in the back row. The gym was loud. You had young stars, big names, fast breaks, too much shouting. And then I saw a big guy. Soft shoes, slow jog, white t-shirt tucked into his shorts. Number 41. Name tag said, Jokic. He didn't dunk, didn't scream, didn't call for the ball. But when it found him, oh boy. The ball moved like it knew where it wanted to go. One-touch passes, slow motion floaters. He even banked in a three, on purpose. The other scouts weren't looking. They were too busy watching the high flyers, the fast twitch guys, the ones with highlights. One scout leaned over to me and whispered, That kid from Serbia? Bit slow, don't you think?" And I just smiled. "Mm-hmm," I said, "but you'll be watching him in June one day and wondering how you missed it." That day he had 6 assists, 2 rebounds, and 3 buckets that looked accidental, but weren't. He didn't ask for attention, but he had mine. From the first bounce pass to the last jog down the court, like he was headed to bed. After the scrimmage, I saw him eating quietly in the back. Just a plate of mashed potatoes, nothing fancy, just like his game. I walked over and said, "Keep doing what you're doing, kid." He looked up, nodded, then smiled, with his mouth full of potatoes. That was the moment. I knew Nikola Jokic wasn't just a player. He was a rhythm, a hum. Nikola Jokic may never go viral. He may never dunk over 3 defenders. He may never scream into a camera or call himself the best. Night after night, box score after box score, he delivers quietly, softly, consistently. A center who plays like a point guard. A superstar who'd rather stay home. A finals MVP who just wanted to feed his horses. When the league gets loud, Jokic slows it down. He passes when others shoot. He smiles when others scream. He logs off when the job is done. One day, when his jersey hangs in the rafters, it won't just be numbers we remember. It'll be the peace, the pace, the calm, the comfort of watching Nikola Jokic just play. Kawhi Leonard, the quiet superstar, the claw. No wild celebrations, no long interviews, just defense, patience, and perfect footwork. From Riverside, California, to NBA championships in San Antonio and Toronto, Kawhi built a career without chasing the spotlight. A man of few words and even fewer mistakes. So get comfortable and let's slowly walk through the story of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Anthony Leonard was born on June 29, 1991, in Los Angeles, California. But he grew up in Riverside, a quieter city away from the flashing lights. From a young age, Kawhi wasn't loud. He didn't seek attention. He spent more time working than talking, always in the driveway, always with a ball in his hands. He played multiple sports, but basketball became his focus. Not because he wanted fame, but because he loved the work, the rhythm of dribbling, the sound of the ball dropping through the net. Kawhi faced heartbreak early. At just 16, he lost his father, Mark, in a tragedy that changed him forever. From then on, he poured himself into basketball. It became his escape, his way to keep moving forward. In high school, he wasn't a top recruit right away. He was overlooked, quiet in the corner while others got the headlines. But little by little, game by game, he became the best player on the floor. Not with flash, just with results. And that's how it's always been for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard didn't end up at one of the flashy powerhouse basketball schools. He went to San Diego State University, a place where the sun was warm, the gym was modest, and the noise of the national spotlight rarely reached. He played for the Aztecs, and in just 2 seasons, he became their star. Not because he talked about it, but because he worked. Every practice, every drill done with that same focused look. In his freshman year, he averaged a double-double. By his sophomore season, he was leading the team deep into the NCAA tournament. big hands grabbing every rebound, quiet eyes scanning the court, never rushed, never rattled. Coaches loved him because he didn't just play the game, he studied it. He wanted to guard the best player every night. He wanted to do the hard work, the kind of work that doesn't make highlight reels but wins games. By 2011, NBA scouts were whispering his name, and Kawhi was ready for the next step, the step into the league. And that's where his story was just beginning, just quietly beginning. We'll keep walking through it together. The 2011 NBA Draft. Kawhi Leonard was selected 15th overall by the Indiana Pacers. But before he could even try on their jersey, he was traded to the San Antonio Spurs, a franchise built on calm, steady greatness. The perfect fit. Popovich, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. Kawhi stepped quietly into a culture where the work came first and everything else came second. His rookie season was simple. Play defense, rebound, learn the system. He didn't force shots, he didn't chase numbers, he just fit in. By his second year, he was starting in the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. LeBron James on the other side. A bright stage. But Kawhi's expression never changed. Whether he scored or missed, whether the crowd roared or fell silent, his face stayed calm. In 2014, everything came together. The Spurs played a beautiful, flowing style of basketball, and Kawhi was the Finals MVP. He averaged 17 points, shot over 60% from the field, and guarded the best player in the world every night. When they handed him the trophy, he didn't give a speech, he didn't look for the spotlight. He just nodded, smiled slightly, and walked back to his teammates. It was the perfect Kawhi moment, the kind you almost miss unless you're paying attention. And his story was still far from over. By the summer of 2018, things in San Antonio had shifted. Injuries, rumors, and then the trade. Kawhi Leonard was sent to the Toronto Raptors, a new city, a colder climate, a team hungry for something they'd never had, a championship. From the start, he didn't talk about winning, he just played. 20-plus points a night, locked-in defense, quiet leadership. And then came the playoffs, round after round. Kawhi delivered. There was Game 7 against the Philadelphia 76ers, a tied game. The ball in his hands. He drove to the corner, rose up, released the shot. It bounced once, twice, 3, 4 times before falling through. The crowd erupted. Kawhi just crouched there, expression still calm, as his teammates swarmed him. By the time the finals arrived, Toronto was ready. They faced the Golden State Warriors, a team loaded with talent. But Kawhi didn't flinch. He averaged 28 points, won Finals MVP again, and gave Canada its first NBA championship. The city celebrated in the streets, millions of voices, but Kawhi, he just held the trophy, smiled a little, and let everyone else do the shouting. It was the quietest takeover the NBA had ever seen, and Kawhi's journey still wasn't done. In the summer of 2019, Kawhi Leonard made another quiet move. He signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. Back home in Southern California, no big announcement show, just a press release and a simple handshake. The plan was clear: pair him with Paul George, build a contender, and chase another ring. His first season was strong, 27 points a game, defensive dominance. But the playoffs ended early, a tough loss in the bubble. Injuries followed. A torn ACL kept him out for an entire season. He didn't rush back, didn't force it, waited until he was ready. And when he returned, it was the same Kawhi. Methodical, unbothered, still one of the best on both ends of the floor. Even now, when he plays, he's as efficient as ever. 20-plus points, elite defense, same calm expression, whether it's the first quarter or the last shot of the game. The Clippers are still chasing their first title, and Kawhi is still chasing his third. Quietly, steadily, without the noise. And along the way, he's picked up more than a few little stories. Kawhi Leonard's career isn't just about points and trophies. It's also filled with little details, the kind you only notice if you're paying close attention. For years, Kawhi wore Jordan brand shoes. Simple designs, clean lines. But in 2018, he quietly left Jordan and signed with New Balance. Yes, New Balance. The same company more known for running shoes and comfy sneakers than NBA signatures. And somehow, it fit perfectly. Understated, comfortable, practical, just like Kawhi. His first New Balance release, the OMN1S, came with the slogan, "We've got now." It wasn't loud, but it got the message across. Off the court, Kawhi is just as private. No big social media presence, no endless interviews. When he's not playing, he's spending time with his family, driving his 1997 Chevy Tahoe. Yes, the same one from high school. He once said it still runs fine, so why change it? He's also known for that laugh, the one from his Raptors intro press conference, a deep, awkward chuckle that became a meme overnight. Kawhi didn't care. He just smiled and kept moving. There's even a story about how he used to bring homemade wings to team flights, packed neatly in foil, while his teammates ordered takeout. These little pieces, the quiet shoe deal, the old truck, the viral laugh, the home-cooked food, they make Kawhi Leonard more than just a superstar. They make him Kawhi. And those stories are just as good as the stats. In his first season, back in 2011, Kawhi Leonard averaged just 7 points a game, 5 rebounds and 1 assist. A quiet beginning, a gentle introduction to the league. The next year, the numbers crept upward. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Not loud, not flashy, just steady, like the soft ticking of a clock. By his third season, it was still the same calm rhythm, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Different nights, different cities, but the numbers stayed the same. Then in 2015, things began to grow, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. The game slowed down for him, and the stat sheet stayed steady. In 2016, and that is the quiet story of Kawhi Leonard. A superstar without the noise. A champion without the spotlight. Year after year, city after city, game after game, the same calm rhythm, the same steady hands. He never rushed, He never shouted. He just played. And somehow, that was always enough. So as the story settles and the numbers fade, let your eyes grow heavy and drift, just like Kawhi, into the calm. Good night. A kid from Akron. The story of someone who never really left the spotlight, but somehow still feels like a quiet legend. From high school gyms to NBA arenas packed with noise, LeBron James moved through it all with a kind of calm fire. So get comfy, sink deeper into your pillow, and let's take a slow journey through the career of the king himself. This is the story of LeBron James, and this is Coach Snooze. In 2003, a quiet storm rolled into the NBA. LeBron Ramon James, just 18 years old, out of St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio. Drafted #1 overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. No college, no problem, just talent and a whole lot of pressure. That rookie year, he averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. He played in 79 games, started 79 of them, shot 41% from the field, and yeah, he won Rookie of the Year, too. But it wasn't just the stats. It was the way he made it all look so easy. Smooth passes, fast breaks, and that calm stare, like he already knew the league was his. 1. LeBron James has played more than 1,400 NBA games. 2. He scored over 39,000 career points. 3. LeBron was drafted first overall in 2003. 4. He made the All-Star game 20 times. 5. He's won 4 NBA championships. 6. LeBron shoots with his right hand, but writes with his left. 7. He's played for 3 NBA teams, the Cavaliers, the Heat, and the Lakers. 8. He made his NBA debut at just 18 years old. 9. LeBron's jersey numbers, 23 and 6. 10. His longest winning streak in a season is 27 games. They say every great journey has a turning point. And for LeBron James, it came after 7 long seasons in Cleveland. He was young. He was brilliant. But the rings weren't coming. So he made a move. Not just a transfer, a transformation. He joined the Miami Heat, and the world watched like never before. It wasn't quiet. It wasn't easy. but it worked. Alongside Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, he built something powerful. 4 trips to the finals, 2 championships, and a style of play that felt like poetry in motion. He wore number 6. He moved with confidence, like he knew exactly who he was now. In Miami, LeBron didn't just chase greatness, he caught it. 11. LeBron has played in over 280 playoff games, more than any player in NBA history. 12. He's the only player to record a triple-double against every NBA team. 13. LeBron has scored 50-plus points in a game 14 times. 14. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer in 2023. 15. In the 2018 finals, he averaged 34 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 10 assists, but still lost. 16. He's had at least 1 steal in 45 straight playoff games, a postseason record. 17. LeBron once scored 25 straight points for the Cavs in a 2007 playoff game in Detroit. 18. He's the only player in NBA history with 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. 19. LeBron has worn headbands, sleeves, and even a mask, but always made it look smooth. 20. He's played alongside over 200 different teammates in the NBA. In 2014, the King came home, back to Cleveland, back to where it all started. He didn't announce it on stage this time. No lights, no microphones, just a letter, quietly saying, "I'm coming home." He teamed up with Kyrie Irving and soon after, Kevin Love. The Cavaliers were back in business. In 2015, they reached the finals, but injuries held them back. Still, LeBron averaged 35 points per game in that series. He nearly dragged them to a win by himself. And then, in 2016, he did it. Down 3-1 to the 73-win Warriors, LeBron led the greatest comeback in finals history. A triple-double in Game 7, a chase-down block that echoed through time. And when the clock hit 0, Cleveland finally had a ring. The curse was over. The kid from Akron had delivered. 21. LeBron played 4 seasons with the Miami Heat from 2010 to 2014. 22. He won 2 NBA championships in Miami in 2012 and 2013. 23. In 2013, the Heat won 27 games in a row, the second longest win streak in NBA history. 24. LeBron shot a career-high 57% from the field in the 2012-13 season. 25. He was named NBA MVP twice during his Miami run, 2012 and 2013. 26. In Game 6 of the 2013 Finals, he hit a clutch three-pointer just before Ray Allen's legendary shot. 27. He averaged 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists across his Miami years. 28. LeBron wore jersey number 6 while in Miami. 29. He made the all-defensive first team every year in Miami. 30. His highest single-game scoring total with the Heat was 61 points against the Charlotte Bobcats. 31. LeBron played 4 seasons in his second run with the Cavaliers from 2014 to 2018. He led Cleveland to 4 straight NBA Finals appearances during that time. In the 2016 Finals, he led all players in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. That same year, he became the first player in Finals history to average a triple-double in Game 7. His Game 7 block on Andre Iguodala is now simply known as the block. In 2018, he scored 51 points in Game 1 of the Finals and still lost. That game also included the infamous J.R. Smith moment. LeBron averaged 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists in the 2018 playoffs. He wore number 23 again with the Cavs. During his second Cleveland run, he passed Michael Jordan on the all-time playoff scoring list. Let's count the numbers. Softly, slowly. Just let them roll by like clouds in the sky. 2015 season. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 2016, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. 2017, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. 2018, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. In those years, he played over 300 games, scored more than 8,000 points, and never missed the playoffs. Every night, a steady stat line. Every game, a quiet masterpiece. In 2018, LeBron packed his bags and headed west to Los Angeles, a city of lights, but he brought the calm. It wasn't easy at first. Injuries, roster changes, missed the playoffs that first season. But he stayed patient, kept showing up, kept leading. Then, in 2020, inside the NBA bubble, LeBron delivered again. He led the Lakers to their 17th NBA championship, matching the Celtics for the most in league history. Averaged 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists in the finals. Earned his 4th Finals MVP. He wore number 23 at first, then switched to number 6, just like Miami. Always evolving, always adapting. And even now, in year 21, LeBron is still out there, still dropping 20-point games, still throwing lobs, still leading, no signs of stopping, just smooth, steady basketball, like a metronome made of greatness. 41. LeBron joined the Lakers in 2018 on a 4-year deal. 42. He led the Lakers to a championship in 2020 inside the NBA bubble. 43. That made him the first player in NBA history to win Finals MVP with 3 different teams. 44. In his 2020 Finals run, he averaged 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. 45. LeBron passed Karl Malone to become second all-time in scoring while with the Lakers. And if you listen closely, past the highlight reels, past the banners and the stats, there are quiet little stories that follow LeBron, like footprints in the hardwood. One night, he broke his nose. Next game, he showed up in a black carbon fiber mask, dark as night, and dropped 61 points. Just another day in the life of the masked king. But it wasn't all basketball. In high school, LeBron wasn't just hooping. He was an all-state football player, a wide receiver with hands like magnets. Some folks say he could have gone pro, but the court called louder. He never did the dunk contest, even though the world begged. He let the game speak instead. Fast breaks, chase downs, tomahawks. He's ambidextrous too, writes with his left, shoots with his right. Just another quiet flex. There was a night in 2007, Detroit, playoffs. He scored 25 points in a row, all by himself. Like a sleepwalker in rhythm, gliding past defenders who had no idea how to stop the dream. And when he wanted to lighten the mood, he quoted Tom and Jerry at press conferences. Because greatness doesn't always have to take itself seriously. He's gifted teammates headphones before a playoff run. Starred in commercials as 4 different versions of himself. And through it all, he just kept showing up. Like clockwork, like comfort, like a bedtime story that never ends. Some say he's the greatest. Others, well, they bring up Jordan, or Kareem, or Kobe, or even Wilt, back when stats were a little wilder. But with LeBron, it's different. It's not just the rings. It's not just the points. It's the longevity. 20-plus years. Playoff runs longer than some players' careers. Always in shape, always showing up. Rarely injured. Never out of the conversation. He's been the most talked about player for 2 decades, without ever fully falling off. People argue about finals records. They count rings like trophies at a school fair, but late at night, when all the noise fades, and you just watch the game, you see the passes, the vision, the way he controls the pace, without rushing. He's played against every generation, from Tim Duncan to Steph Curry to Victor Wembanyama. Maybe the real GOAT debate isn't about who wins it. It's about who never left it. And LeBron. He's been in that conversation longer than some players have been in the league. Not bad for a kid from Akron. LeBron's game left a mark, but so did his shoes. It started with the Air Zoom generation in 2003, his very first pair, chunky, techy, ahead of its time. Just like the kid who wore them. Then came the LeBron 2s, bulky but bold, wrist strap up top, made to feel like armor on the court. The LeBron 3s look sleeker, white and black with gold trim, like something fit for royalty. By the time he got to the LeBron 7s, Nike added Air Max all the way through. Full-length comfort, just like his game. Long and smooth. The LeBron 8 South Beach? That pink and teal, that one made sneakerheads lose sleep, still does. He's up to LeBron 21s now. That's 21 shoes. Each one like a time capsule from a different chapter of his career. Some were made for power, some for speed, some just to show off the shine. But they all had one thing in common. You couldn't ignore them, just like LeBron himself. And somewhere out there, some kids still lacing up their very first pair of LeBrons, just like the King did, all those years ago. LeBron didn't stop at basketball. He built a brand, a lifestyle, a voice that echoed beyond the court. There was Taco Tuesday, not just a meme, but a whole weekly ritual with the family. Camcorder out, LeBron yelling, "Taco Tuesday," like a dad who didn't care about being cool, which, of course, made it cool. Then came the I Promise School in Akron, a real school for real kids, where the mission is simple. Believe in them like somebody believed in him. Free tuition, free bikes, free meals, a promise that goes deeper than a sneaker deal. And then there was Space Jam, a new legacy. Not a sequel, not a remake, just LeBron joining the Looney Tunes in his own way. Was it perfect? Maybe not. But it was his. A love letter to his kids and to the ones watching from home in bronze jerseys too big for their shoulders. He's more than an athlete, more than a scorer, more than a stat. He's a father, a mogul, a walking legacy. LeBron James, not just in the game, but woven into the culture. That's the story of LeBron James. Not just the points, not just the rings, but the journey from Akron to Miami, back to Cleveland, and now Los Angeles. He's played with legends, he's battled giants, and through it all, he stayed calm, focused, steady, just kept going. Maybe he's the GOAT, maybe he's just the king, but no matter what you believe, he showed up, night after night, year after year. And now we're setting our dreams on a tall tale, a very, very tall one. This story belongs to a giant, not just in height, but in heart. A man who bridged oceans, softened rivalries, and brought two basketball worlds together with a gentle smile, a quiet soul, and a high-arcing jumper that floated like a feather in the wind. Tonight we slow things down for the great Yao Ming. So, settle in. Pull your blanket a little closer. Let your eyelids grow heavier than a fourth quarter back-to-back on the road and drift with me to the distant city of Shanghai. The year is 1980. In the bustling city of Shanghai, under a hazy autumn sky, a baby is born. His name is Yao Ming, and from the moment he arrives, the world tilts slightly upward. You see, Yao didn't just have big dreams, he had big genes. His mother, Fang Fengdi, was a former captain of China's national women's basketball team. She stood 6'3". His father, Yao Zhiyuan, played for a local professional team and measured in at 6'7". Together they made a skyscraper, a soft-spoken skyscraper with wide eyes and a curious heart. By age 10, Yao was already over 5'7" and drinking milk by the gallon. His teachers couldn't reach his shoulders. His friends couldn't keep up on the playground. At 13, he joined the junior program for the Shanghai Sharks, a team in China's top league. He wasn't just tall, he was coordinated, balanced, precise. His footwork was ballet. His free throws were lullabies. And soon, the league took notice. Scouts whispered about the Great Wall in Shanghai. But Yao stayed humble. He wasn't chasing fame, he was just playing ball, learning, growing, slowly, steadily, like a bamboo shoot in spring. By 17, he was playing with grown men. By 19, he was dominating them. In his final season with the Sharks, Yao averaged nearly 39 points, 19 rebounds, and almost 5 blocked shots per game. He was still quiet, still polite, still bowing before every game. But there was nothing quiet about the numbers he was putting up. It's the summer of 2002. The hardwood buzzes. The lottery balls have bounced. The Houston Rockets have landed the #1 pick. And across the Pacific Ocean, a quiet, towering figure waits. Far from New York, far from the noise, Yao Ming is preparing for something that's never been done before. No player born and raised outside the United States who never played college ball or high school in America had ever been taken #1 overall. But the Rockets were ready to dream big, 7'6" big. There were doubts, of course. There were whispers about language, about toughness, about the gap between the CBA and the NBA. But Yao didn't flinch. He smiled. He nodded. And when the Rockets called his name, he bowed in front of the world. His first NBA game came against the Indiana Pacers. No points, 2 rebounds, a few nervous minutes. Just a whisper of a beginning, but not long after came the moment. Yao versus Shaq, the Diesel, the most dominant force in the league. Shaq was bigger than life, louder than life, and yet Yao blocked him, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the opening minutes. The Toyota Center in Houston was on its feet, and somewhere across the ocean, so was all of China. In his rookie season, Yao averaged 13.5 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks per game. He shot over 50% from the field, and his free throws? Smooth and sleepy. Nearly 81% from the line, better than most guards. He finished second in Rookie of the Year voting, just behind Amare Stoudemire. But he had already won something deeper. He'd won the hearts of fans across time zones. All-Star voting that year, Yao led the entire Western Conference in votes. More than Shaq, more than Duncan, more than Kobe. The NBA wasn't just an American league anymore, it was global, and Yao was the bridge. By his second and third seasons, he was dropping 18, 19, then 21 points a game. His rebounding rose. His shot chart was as clean as a good night kiss, and his touch around the rim, soft as a sigh. Even his voice, gentle, quiet, but always thoughtful, always respectful. He answered media questions in broken English at first, but every year it got smoother, just like his footwork. He wasn't trying to be flashy. He wasn't chasing highlights. He was chasing the right play, the better read, the smart pass. In 2004, the Rockets added Tracy McGrady, and suddenly, Houston had a 1-2 punch, a silky scorer on the wing, and a skyscraper in the paint. Pick and rolls, pick and pops, Yao setting screens like a gentle oak tree, letting McGrady slice through defenses like wind through grass. The Rockets were back in the playoff picture. But the road would not be easy. They battled, they grew, but the West was wild. Kobe and Shaq's Lakers, Duncan's Spurs, Nash's Suns, Garnett's Wolves. Every time Yao rose, the mountain rose higher. Still, he kept showing up. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, game after game, month after month. His jersey flew off shelves in Beijing. His shoes sold out in Shanghai. But in Houston, he was just Big Yao, just a teammate, just a guy who showed up early, stayed late, and played like a giant who never needed to roar. By the mid-2000s, Yao Ming wasn't just tall, he was terrific. He wasn't the kind of player to scream after a dunk or pound his chest. No. Yao would simply jog back on defense, maybe give a small nod, and sink right back into the flow, like he'd never left it. Because for Yao, basketball was not noise. It was balance, a kind of meditation, a stillness in motion. Let's look at the numbers. the sleepy kind of numbers you don't notice right away, but the more you stare at them, the more they settle into your dreams. In 2005, he averaged 18.3 points, 8.4 rebounds, and almost 2 blocks a game. By 2006, those numbers grew: 22.3 points, 10.2 boards, 1.6 blocks on 51% from the field. And his free throws, still soft, still steady, over 85% from the line. By 2007, he was scoring 25 points per game, quietly, calmly. No wasted motion, just touch, poise, patience. He wasn't fast, he wasn't explosive, but he didn't need to be. He would catch the ball in the post, wait, turn his shoulder, and release the softest jumper you've ever seen from a 7'6" center. On defense, he was like a mountain in slippers. Not a big leaper, but always in the right spot, always with his hands high, a wall you had to climb over, and by the time you did, he was already boxing you out. He had a sleepy kind of dominance. You wouldn't notice until the game was over, and you'd look at the box score and think, wait, Yao had 27 and 13? He made 8 all-star teams, and every time he led in fan votes, not just because of China, but because of how he carried himself. He wasn't a superstar in the usual sense. He didn't sell shoes with slogans. He didn't drop catchphrases in interviews. But when the lights dimmed and the game slowed down, he became poetry. A big man with ballet feet, a skyscraper with feather hands. He made the game look sleepy and beautiful. His best performances weren't loud, they were layered. He had a 41-point game against the Hawks in 2006, a 36-point, 19-rebound battle versus the Wizards, and a dreamy 39-point night in just 30 minutes against the Orlando Magic.
The Rockets tried to build around him: McGrady, Battier, Scola, Rafer Alston, even Ron Artest for a little while. But while the roster shifted, Yao stayed Yao. Dependable, disciplined, and quietly excellent.
And for Yao Ming, the shadow was his body. By 2005, the signs were there. Nagging toes, sore knees, ankles that didn't quite feel right. For most players, these were just blips, things to tape up and run through. But when you're 7'6", every step carries a little more weight. And eventually, the game starts to feel heavier too. In December of 2005, Yao missed time after surgery on his toe. In 2006, he broke a bone in his foot, then his knee, then his ankle. One by one, the pieces of his body asked him to slow down. But Yao never complained. Not once. He simply tried again. He returned in March 2006 and played some of the best basketball of his life. In his first 5 games back, he averaged 29 points and 13 rebounds. Like a dream waking up just long enough to shine. But every time he rose, something pulled him back down. By the 2007-08 season, the Rockets had dreams again. McGrady was healthy. The team had depth, and Yao was playing like an MVP candidate. They rattled off 22 straight wins, the 3rd longest streak in NBA history. But right before the playoffs, Yao went down. A stress fracture in his foot. The Rockets would fight on, but it wasn't the same. He kept coming back. Tape, rehab, surgery, patience. But the injuries wouldn't stop. In the 2008 playoffs against the Lakers, Yao gave one last legendary fight. 28 points in Game 1, battling Pau Gasol, out-muscling Andrew Bynum. Quiet, focused, locked in. But in Game 3, he fractured his foot again, and this time, it lingered. In the end, from 2005 to 2011, Yao missed over 250 games. His frame just couldn't carry the weight anymore. The game that once felt like a dance now felt like a burden. And in July of 2011, he walked away. Not with tears, not with drama. Just a press conference in Shanghai, and a soft bow to the crowd, as if to say, "Thank you. I did my best."
Even as his body began to slow, Yao Ming's spirit kept rising. Because Yao wasn't just a basketball player anymore. He was a symbol, a bridge between East and West, a soft-spoken diplomat in sneakers. And in the summer of 2008, that bridge became a beacon. It's August. In Beijing, the Olympics are returning to China, a country ready to host the world, eyes sparkling with pride. And at the opening ceremony, under a sky of fireworks, a figure emerges from the tunnel, towering, calm, graceful. Yao Ming, holding the Chinese flag high above his head as the Bird's Nest Stadium erupts in cheers. Beside him walks a young earthquake survivor, carrying the torch of hope. Together, they lead the delegation. Together, they symbolize something far bigger than a game. Yao had surgery just weeks before the Olympics. He could have sat out, he could have rested, but he chose to play. For China, for unity, for something deeper than box scores. He played every game of the tournament, scored 26 points against Angola, battled the U.S. with poise, held his own against the best in the world, while never once raising his voice. And when he left the court for the final time in the 2008 Olympics, he bowed, not for attention, not for drama, just to say thank you. Off the court, Yao was just as powerful. He became a cultural ambassador, a philanthropist, a conservationist. He used his platform to protect endangered species, to fund education programs, to speak softly but carry wisdom. In interviews, he'd often smile before answering. He'd pause, think, then give the most thoughtful, careful response you've ever heard from a superstar. He wasn't trying to impress, just trying to be honest, to connect. And in doing so, he won the world's respect. When he retired, China wept. Houston wept. The league lost a player, but the world gained a symbol. Yao Ming had changed basketball without ever needing to shout. And now, before we say goodnight, let's drift through a gentle stream of facts and numbers from the tall, quiet career of Yao Ming. Yao Ming was 7 feet, 6 inches tall. He wore a size 18 shoe. His wingspan measured 7 feet, 5 inches. He played 8 seasons in the NBA, appearing in 486 games. His career average was 19 points and 9.2 rebounds per game. He also averaged 1.9 blocks per game. He shot 52% from the field and 83% from the free throw line. In the 2006 season, Yao averaged 25 points per game. In 2007, he scored 41 points against the Hawks. He had 30 or more points in 35 different NBA games. And he recorded 20 or more rebounds 5 times. He was selected to the NBA All-Star Game every season he played. From 2003 to 2011, he led all NBA players in All-Star fan voting 3 times, more votes than Kobe, Shaq, or LeBron. In 2009, Yao helped lead the Rockets to their first playoff series win since 1997. In Game 1 against the Lakers, he scored 28 points on 9 of 13 shooting. He made 10 of 10 free throws in that game. Yao played for the Chinese national team in the 2000, 2004, and 2008 Olympics. He was China's flag bearer twice. In 2006, he led the FIBA World Championship in scoring, averaging 25.3 points per game. Yao once blocked 8 shots in a single NBA game. He once hit 14 of 14 free throws against the Phoenix Suns. He once recorded 5 assists, 3 steals, and 4 blocks in the same game. His highest scoring month was December 2006, when he averaged 27.3 points per game. He was named Western Conference Player of the Month twice. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2016, alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson. He was the first Chinese player ever to be inducted. After retirement, Yao became president of the Chinese Basketball Association. He also owns the Shanghai Sharks, his former team. He loves red wine and has his own vineyard. He once said, "Basketball is a simple game until people try to make it complicated."
And that, my friends, was the story of Yao Ming, a gentle giant who never needed to roar. He showed us that greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it bows. Sometimes it listens. Sometimes it just blocks a shot, hits a soft jumper, and jogs back on defense with a sleepy smile.
Game we love. The stories, the players, the moments that shaped basketball. This isn't about highlight reels or breaking news. It's about slowing down, taking the time to really look at the details, and letting the game unfold one moment at a time. So settle in, because we're about to walk through the life and career of one of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen. From his earliest days to the moments that made him a household name. This is the story of Steph Curry. Steph Curry is more than just a great player. He's a player who reshaped the way the game is played. Before Curry, the three-point shot was an option. After Curry, it became the centerpiece of modern basketball. His range is almost without limit, pulling up from well beyond the arc with the same confidence most players have from mid-range. It's not just the accuracy, it's the speed of his release, the way he finds space where there seems to be none. Defenses stretch farther than they ever have, and still the ball seems to find the bottom of the net. Kids on playgrounds, players in the pros, they all study his form, his footwork, hoping to capture even a fraction of what makes him so effective. Curry's name is known in every basketball conversation because his style of play didn't just win games, it changed them. That level of shooting skill wasn't born overnight. Steph grew up surrounded by the game. His father, Del Curry, was one of the NBA's most reliable shooters, and young Steph spent countless hours rebounding for him after practice, watching every detail, from the way his dad set his feet to the arc of the ball as it fell cleanly through the net. But Steph's journey wasn't without doubt. In high school, he was far from a star recruit. Scouts questioned his size, his strength, and even his ability to play point guard. The major college programs passed on him. Instead, he went to Davidson College, a small school with a modest basketball history. There, away from the bright lights, he honed his craft. Day after day in the gym, repetition after repetition. He built the confidence that would one day define him. By the time Davidson made its magical run in the 2008 NCAA tournament, Curry wasn't just a name to watch. He was a force that couldn't be ignored. After 3 seasons at Davidson, Steph Curry declared for the 2009 NBA draft. Some teams still questioned if his game would translate to the NBA. Was he too small? Could he handle the physicality of the league? The Golden State Warriors didn't see a problem. With the 7th overall pick, they selected Curry, betting on his shooting, his vision, and his work ethic. Those first few years in the league weren't the smoothest. Curry battled ankle injuries that kept him off the floor for long stretches. Some wondered if his body could hold up to the grind of an 82-game season. But through every setback, he stayed locked in, building his strength, refining his game, and quietly becoming the leader the Warriors needed. By 2013, the league started to notice. Curry's shooting performances became must-watch moments, and the term Splash Brothers, alongside Klay Thompson, was beginning to stick. By the mid-2000s teens, Steph Curry wasn't just a star. He was changing basketball in real time. In the 2014-15 season, Curry averaged 23.8 points, 7.7 assists, and 4.3 rebounds per game, while shooting over 44% from 3. His quick release and deep range made every shot a possibility, no matter where he stood on the court. He hit 286 three-pointers that season, breaking his own single-season record. And it wasn't just about the numbers. It was about how those threes felt. Momentum changers, crowd silencers, the kind of shots that made opposing coaches bury their heads in their hands. Alongside Klay Thompson, the other half of the Splash Brothers, Curry helped Golden State build one of the most lethal backcourts in NBA history. Draymond Green emerged as the defensive anchor. Andre Iguodala brought veteran leadership, and the team played with a pace and spacing the league hadn't seen before. That year, the Warriors won 67 games and captured their first NBA championship in 40 years, with Curry earning his first MVP award. The following season, Curry turned the impossible into routine. He became the first player in NBA history to make over 400 threes in a single season. 402 to be exact. He averaged 30.1 points per game, shooting 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 90% from the line. The elusive 50-40-90 club. And he did it all while barely playing in the fourth quarter of blowouts. In February 2016, Curry tied the NBA record for most threes in a single game with 12 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, including a game winner from well beyond 30 feet. It was the kind of shot kids try in their driveways, but Curry was hitting it under the brightest lights. Golden State finished that year 73-9, the best regular season record in NBA history. Even though the finals ended in heartbreak against Cleveland, Curry's style and dominance had already left their mark. After the 2016 finals loss, the Warriors made one of the most significant moves in NBA history, signing former MVP Kevin Durant. Some critics questioned how Curry, Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green would share the spotlight. But Curry's unselfishness made the transition seamless. He didn't need the ball in his hands every possession to dominate. His off-ball movement, screens, and gravity pulled defenses apart. allowing Durant to thrive while still keeping the Warriors' identity intact. In the 2016-17 season, Curry averaged 25.3 points, 6.6 assists, and 4.5 rebounds, while hitting 324 three-pointers. Golden State won 67 games and stormed through the playoffs with a 16-1 record, one of the most dominant runs in NBA history. They captured the championship, with Durant taking Finals MVP honors, and Curry graciously celebrating his teammates' moment. The following year, Curry battled some injuries, but still averaged 26.4 points per game, shooting over 42% from three. In the 2018 Finals, he had a memorable Game 2 performance against Cleveland, setting a Finals record with 9 made threes. The Warriors swept the Cavaliers for their third title in 4 years. Even in the shadows of another superstar, Curry's presence was undeniable. His constant movement and ability to hit threes from any distance forced opposing defenses into impossible choices. Trap him, and someone else scored. Leave him, and the ball found the bottom of the net. By the end of the Durant era in 2019, Curry had 3 championships, 2 MVPs, and a reputation as the greatest shooter the game had ever seen. When Kevin Durant left for Brooklyn in the summer of 2019, the Warriors entered a new chapter. But the start was far from smooth. Klay Thompson was out with a torn ACL. Draymond Green battled nagging injuries, and in October 2019, Curry broke his hand just 4 games into the season. The Warriors, just months removed from 5 straight finals appearances, finished with the worst record in the league. For most players, a year like that might have signaled the beginning of the end. But for Curry, it became a chance to rest, recover, and sharpen his game. In the 2020-21 season, he returned with a vengeance. At 33 years old, he led the league in scoring at 32 points per game, dropping a career-high 62 points against the Portland Trail Blazers in January 2021. It was a reminder. Steph hadn't gone anywhere. By the next year, the Warriors were healthy again. Klay Thompson made his long-awaited return. Draymond was back to anchoring the defense, and young players like Jordan Poole added fresh energy. In the 2022 playoffs, Curry's brilliance shined brightest in the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. In Game 4, with Golden State trailing in the series, Curry delivered one of the greatest performances of his career. 43 points, 10 rebounds, and a shooting display that silenced the Boston crowd. The Warriors went on to win the series in 6 games, and for the first time, Curry was named Finals MVP. It was the missing piece in an already legendary career. That 4th championship, won without Durant and with a rebuilt roster, cemented his legacy. It proved he could win on any stage, with any group of teammates, and still play the game with joy, grace, and an unmatched shooting touch. While Curry's NBA career was filled with records and championships, he also left his mark on the international stage. His first taste of global basketball came in 2010, when he joined Team USA for the FIBA World Championship in Turkey. It was a roster stacked with young stars: Kevin Durant, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. Curry wasn't the team's primary scorer, but his quick release and court vision gave the US a dangerous weapon off the bench. Team USA went undefeated, winning gold for the first time since 1994. 4 years later, he returned for the 2014 FIBA World Cup in Spain. By then, he was a 2-time All-Star and one of the league's most feared shooters. Curry started every game, and once again, Team USA finished perfect, capturing another gold medal with a 37-point win over Serbia in the final. Despite his international success, Curry skipped the 2016 Olympics in Rio, choosing to rest and recover after a grueling NBA season. The same happened for Tokyo in 2021, where he supported the team from afar. Even without an Olympic appearance, Curry's influence on the global game is undeniable. Kids from Spain to China to Australia practice step-back threes, deep pull-ups, and off-ball cuts, because of the way he changed what was possible in basketball. And so, from the bright lights of the NBA Finals to the far corners of the globe with Team USA, Steph Curry's game has touched nearly every level of basketball. He's a 4-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, and the all-time leader in three-pointers made. But beyond the records and trophies, Curry's true legacy lives in the way he plays. There's a joy to it, a freedom, a reminder that basketball, at its best, is still just a game. One where a player barely over 6 feet tall, in a league of towering giants, can change the sport forever, with skill, precision, and a smile. And somewhere tonight, in a driveway, a park, or a dimly lit gym, a kid is trying their own version of the Curry 3. The quick release, the deep range, the little hop backward. The ball arcs through the air, spinning toward the hoop, as the sound of sneakers on pavement echoes in the night. The shot goes up, and in that moment, every dream feels just a little bit closer. The ball arcs through the air, spinning toward the hoop, as the sound of sneakers on pavement echoes in the night. The shot goes up, and in that moment, every dream feels just a little bit closer. Years from now, when the bright lights fade, and the roar of the crowd is just a memory, Steph Curry will still find his way to a court. Maybe it'll be a quiet morning in the Bay Area, before the sun has fully risen. The gym lights will hum faintly overhead. The hardwood will shine, and he'll be there, dribbling softly, taking shots from the corners, and watching them drop through the net. With the same easy rhythm he's had his whole life. There might be no cameras, no jerseys for sale, no fans rushing for autographs. Just the sound of the ball. Bouncing, swishing, rolling back to him. Maybe his kids will join in. Or maybe he'll be teaching some wide-eyed teenager the footwork for a perfect pull-up jumper. The lessons will be the same. Patience, consistency, and the belief that no shot is too far, if you're willing to take it. And in those quiet moments, it won't matter how many rings he's won, or how many records he's set, because the love for the game will still be there, alive, warm, and timeless.
Tim Duncan didn't grow up dreaming of NBA stardom. In fact, he didn't even grow up playing basketball. Born on the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Tim was a swimmer. Not just any swimmer. He was training for the Olympics, dreaming of gold in the pool. He was tall, lanky, and smooth in the water. But then, Hurricane Hugo hit in 1989. It destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized pool. And just like that, Tim's swimming future drifted away with the storm. So he turned to basketball. At first, he was raw, clumsy, quiet. But over time, that quiet turned into focus. That clumsiness became control. And that tall, lanky swimmer, he became the most fundamentally sound player the NBA would ever see. All because of a hurricane. After picking up basketball late, Tim Duncan didn't rush into the spotlight. He stayed steady, stayed patient. When most top prospects jumped to the NBA early, Tim took the long road. He played all 4 years at Wake Forest University. That's rare, even back then. He spent quiet nights in the gym, working on footwork, studying angles, perfecting that smooth little bank shot off the glass. He wasn't trying to go viral. He was trying to get it right. And he did. He averaged a double-double in college and graduated with a degree in psychology. Fitting for a player who always stayed so composed. No drama, no noise, just long practices, silent leadership, and a growing reputation for being the best player nobody was talking about loud enough. It was 1997. The San Antonio Spurs had just come off a tough, injury-filled season. David Robinson, their franchise star, had missed most of the year. But that misfortune turned into a stroke of quiet destiny. The Spurs won the draft lottery, and with the #1 overall pick, they selected Timothy Theodore Duncan. No flash, no hype show, just a calm, reserved kid from Wake Forest, wearing a slightly oversized suit and ready to get to work. He joined David Robinson in the front court, and together they became known as the Twin Towers. Not loud, not brash, just tall, disciplined, and unbeatable in the paint. In his rookie season, Tim averaged 21 points, 12 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks a game. And he did it all with the same sleepy face. No yelling, no celebrating, just fundamentals, just winning. That year he won Rookie of the Year, and the Spurs knew they didn't just draft a star, they drafted a foundation. Tim Duncan was never in a rush. He didn't trash talk. He didn't pound his chest after big plays. He'd hit a clutch jumper, then jog back down the court like it was just another day at the office. While other stars had signature celebrations, Tim had the blank stare, the calm nod, the gentle shrug. Reporters often struggled to get quotes out of him. He'd give short, thoughtful answers, no fluff, no drama, just real. Teammates said he was goofy in a quiet way. He loved Dungeons and Dragons. He collected knives and painted miniatures in his free time. Not exactly your typical NBA lifestyle. But that was Tim. Still waters, low voice, big game. He didn't need the spotlight. He just wanted to win, and maybe crack a dry joke or two when the cameras were off. In a league full of noise, Tim Duncan whispered his way into greatness. The NBA season was shortened. A lockout meant only 50 games. But the Spurs stayed steady. With Duncan in just his second year, he was already looking like a veteran. He led the team in scoring, rebounding, and blocks. No shouting, no distractions, just quiet domination. In the playoffs, the Spurs swept the Lakers. Then they swept the Blazers. And by the time they reached the finals, the world started to notice. This calm kid from the Virgin Islands was different. The finals were against the New York Knicks, a gritty, tough team. But Duncan didn't flinch. He averaged 27 points and 14 rebounds in the series. In the final game, he dropped 31 and 9. And just like that, he was named Finals MVP. At 23 years old, 2 seasons in, no big speech, no parade of emotions, just a handshake, a trophy, and a sleepy walk back to the locker room. The big fundamental was just getting started. After that first title in 1999, Tim Duncan and the Spurs didn't rush greatness. They just let it happen. In 2003, he was at the peak of his powers. He won MVP again, then led the Spurs to the championship, averaging 24 points, 17 rebounds, and 5 blocks in the finals. He nearly had a quadruple-double in the clincher. Seriously. 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 blocks. And what did he do after? Probably ate a quiet dinner. Maybe played video games. Because that's Tim. In 2005, it happened again. A 7-game slugfest against the Detroit Pistons. Tired legs, sweaty jerseys, and Duncan calmly dropping 25 and 11 in Game 7. Another Finals MVP. By 2007, it was almost unfair. The Spurs swept LeBron James and the Cavs, and once again, Tim Duncan was in the middle of it all, setting screens, grabbing boards, making bank shots off glass. Then, in 2014, at age 38, he helped the Spurs win one more. They beat the Heat in a rematch. A beautiful display of team basketball. Poetic, peaceful, perfect. That made 5 rings in total. No confetti dances, no wild celebrations, just Duncan, standing there, smiling that sleepy smile. By the time the 2015 and 2016 seasons came around, Tim Duncan wasn't the same stat monster. His legs weren't as springy. His minutes dropped. But his presence, still towering. He mentored Kawhi Leonard, set perfect picks, directed traffic on defense like a sleepy general. He didn't chase farewell tours, didn't announce it was his last dance. He just kept showing up. In the same boring pre-game gear with the same blank stare, then came July 11th, 2016. A simple press release. No speech, no stage, just words on a screen. After 19 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan has announced his retirement. That was it. No drama, no tears, just gone. He left with 5 rings, 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, over 26,000 points, and the respect of pretty much everyone. The Spurs released a tribute video. Fans lit up comment sections with, "Thank you, Tim." But Tim? He probably went home, made a sandwich, and watched cartoons with his kids. That's the Duncan way. In 2003, Tim Duncan averaged 23 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. In 2004, he averaged 22 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2005, he averaged 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2006, he averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2007, he averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2008, he averaged 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2009, he averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2010, he averaged 17 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block. In 2011, he averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block. In 2012, he averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2013, he averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2014, he averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. In 2015, he averaged 9 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block.
And that was the story of Tim Duncan. Quiet greatness, steady hands, a Hall of Fame heart. He didn't chase the spotlight. He just showed up and got the job done. Night after night, year after year. As your eyes get heavier and the room gets quieter, remember that not all legends are loud. Some just bank it off the glass and jog back on defense. Thanks for snoozing with me. I'll see you next time for another sleepy story. Until then, sweet dreams, Hoops fan, and good night from Coach Snooze.